So this website is really, really cool. Let me actually open up for us here. Let me share the screen. So you see this website? You can download books. You can download books here, or you can read here. These are all websites. Do you see it? Do you see? All
Yes.
these websites, all these websites, they have lots of books, lots of books. There's like a library, a whole library, public literature, the online book pages, encyclopedias, read, print, many books, books for children, you know. So Project Gutenberg, which is really good, is about classics. This Project Gutenberg is about classic books. I see that you like classics, you know. So really cool stuff, all free for you, okay? So take
That's
advantage of
good.
that.
That's good. Very good.
Take advantage of that. Really good if you got the time. All right.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks so much, teacher.
No problem. No problem, man. Anytime. I'm always happy when I see my students wanting to improve like you, giving their best to improve the knowledge of the language. Makes me feel good. Make every teacher feel good. All right. Let me now. Let's go ahead and start. Let me ask you this question. This is a kind of a personal question, okay? But this is part of the class. Trust me, this is part of our class. Why did you become a lawyer? Why did you decide to become a lawyer?
Man, at first was to
Make money?
because I
Make good money?
yes, yes, that's the truth.
Okay. But that's it? Just for the money? Do you have like
At
ideals?
first was it, but I I started to like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And do you feel like being your field, being doing what you do you think you can help people when you doing what
Yes,
you do?
yes.
Okay. Do you help sometimes people like do you do it without charging? How do you call it? There's an expression uh, when you don't charge your client.
In Portuguese is pro bono.
Pro bono. That's the same in English because
Yes.
actually it comes from Latin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah, yeah, yes.
comes from Latin. So it's pro bono. That's it. Do you do sometimes pro bono?
Yeah, I used to do
Used to it. Okay. Your specialty, what's your specialty again?
contracts, civil law in general.
Oh, okay. Civil law, divorce, child support, stuff like that.
Yes, almost.
Almost. Okay. So do you put a lot of guys in prison? Do you put a lot of men in prison because of
No,
child
no,
support?
no,
No, you don't.
no.
Because I know that's one type of debt that you go to prison, right? In Brazil, you go to
Yes.
prison for child support. Romário went to prison. Like sometimes guys out there, they go to prison for child support. Well, anyway, I'm asking this because we're talking a little bit about how to help the planet, how to help the world. Okay, there are many ways that are different, many ways to help and different areas that you can support, right? Help. There's the environment. You can help in the environment. You can help people. And there's this organization that says actually you have to help everything. You have to help it all. They're all connected. You can't like worry about the environment and not worry about people, about population, and not worry about making sure everyone is eating, have enough calories to eat, and everyone is having an education, and everyone is having tap water. So a sustainable life. It's about a sustainable life. So I selected this video and I like you to watch so we can discuss. It's a little long, but I mean, it's just me and you, so we got time. Okay, got
Yeah.
plenty of time. All right, so let's
All
go
right.
ahead and watch this video And if you want to make some notes, you want to ask things, we can debate about this, okay?
Okay.
Let's go ahead and watch it. And I like TED Talks. I don't know if you know about TED Talks, but I really enjoy TED Talks, and I think they're really good for students that want to improve. Students like you that are going to advanced level next semester, right? It helps you a lot because there's good topics. You can choose the topics. So it's called TED Talk. I don't know if you see here, TED. Okay, it's a website
Yes.
with speeches. And they're not long. They're no more than 20 minutes. They're usually 16, 18 minutes. And they always talk about interesting points, interesting topics, okay? So
TED
let's watch
Talks.
TED Talk. TED Talk, that's the name of the website, okay? And they all, you have TED Talks on YouTube also. This one, for example, I got from YouTube, okay? And this one is about what does it mean to be a citizen of the world? This is a new expression, okay? This guy, Hugh Evans, this Australian guy, he believes that we should not think as local citizens, it's like Brazilian citizens, Pernambuco citizens, Recife or Paulista citizens. We are citizens of the world. We either help each other, everybody helps each other, or if we only have our local people, then it's not gonna matter. Let's watch it.
I want to introduce you to an amazing woman. Her name is Davinia. Davinia was born in Jamaica, emigrated to the US at the age of 18, and now lives just outside of Washington, D.C. She's not a high-powered political staffer, nor a lobbyist. She'd probably tell you she's quite unremarkable, but she's having the most remarkable impact. What's incredible about Davinia is that she's willing to spend time every single week focused on people who are not her. People not in her neighborhood, her state, nor even in her country. People she'd likely never meet. Davinia's impact started a few years ago when she reached out to all of her friends on Facebook and asked them to donate their pennies so she could fund girls' education. She wasn't expecting a huge response, but 700,000 pennies later, she's now sent over 120 girls to school. When we spoke last week, she told me she's become a little infamous at the local bank every time she rocks up with a shopping cart full of pennies. Now, Davinia is not alone. Far from it. She's part of a growing movement, and there's a name for people like Davinia: global citizens. A global citizen is someone who self-identifies first and foremost not as a member of a state, a tribe, or a nation, but as a member of the human race, and someone who's prepared to, thank you, and someone who's prepared to act on that belief to tackle our world's greatest challenges. Our work is focused on finding, supporting, and activating global citizens. They exist in every country and among every demographic. I want to make the case to you today that the world's future depends on global citizens. I'm convinced that if we had more global citizens active in our world, then every single one of the major challenges we face, from poverty, climate change, gender inequality, these issues become solvable. They are ultimately global issues, and they can ultimately only be solved by global citizens demanding global solutions from their leaders. Now, some people's immediate reaction to this idea is that either it's a bit utopian or even threatening. So I'd like to share with you a little of my story today, how I ended up here, how it connects with Davinia, and hopefully with you. Growing up in Melbourne, Australia, I was one of those seriously irritating little kids that never ever stopped asking why. You might have been one yourself. I used to ask my mum the most annoying questions. I'd ask her questions like, "Mum, why can't I dress up and play with puppets all day? Why do you want fries with that? What is a shrimp? And why do we have to keep throwing them on the Barbie? And Mum, this haircut? Why?" the worst haircut, I think. Still terrible. As a Y kid, I thought I could change the world, and it was impossible to convince me otherwise. And when I was 12 and in my first year of high school, I started raising money for communities in the developing world. And we were a really enthusiastic group of kids, and we raised more money than any other school in Australia. And so I was awarded the chance to go to the Philippines to learn more. It was 1998. We were taken into a slum in the outskirts of Manila. It was there I became friends with Sunny Boy, who lived on what was literally a pile of steaming garbage. Smoky Mountain was what they called it, but don't let the romance of that name fool you, because it was nothing more than a rancid landfill that kids like Sunny Boy spent hours rummaging through every single day to find something, anything of value. That night with Sunny Boy and his family changed my life forever, because when it came time to go to sleep, we simply lay down on this concrete slab the size of half my bedroom with myself, Sunny Boy, and the rest of his family, 7 of us in this long line with this smell of rubbish all around us and cockroaches crawling all around. And I didn't sleep a wink, but I lay awake thinking to myself, why should anyone have to live like this when I have so much? Why should Sunny Boy's ability to live out his dreams be determined by where he's born, or what Warren Buffett called the ovarian lottery? I just didn't get it, and I needed to understand why. Now, I only later came to understand that the poverty I'd seen in the Philippines was the result of decisions made or not made, man-made, by a succession of colonial powers and corrupt governments who had anything but the interests of Sunny Boy at heart. Sure, they didn't create Smoky Mountain, but they may as well have. And if we were to try to help kids like Sunny Boy, it wouldn't work just to try to send him a few dollars or to try to clean up the garbage dump on which he lived, because the core of the problem lay elsewhere. And as I worked on community development projects over the coming years, trying to help build schools, train teachers, and tackle HIV and AIDS, I came to see that community development should be driven by communities themselves, and that although charity is necessary, it's not sufficient. We need to confront these challenges on a global scale and in a systemic way. And the best thing I could do is try to mobilize a large group of citizens back home to insist that our leaders engage in that systemic change. That's why a few years later, I joined with a group of college friends in bringing the Make Poverty History campaign to Australia. We had this dream of staging this small concert around the time of the G20 with local Aussie artists, and it suddenly exploded one day when we got a phone call from Bono, The Edge, and Pearl Jam, who all agreed to headline our concert. I got a little bit excited that day, as you can see. But to our amazement, the Australian government heard our collective voices, and they agreed to double investment into global health and development, an additional $6.2 billion. It felt like this incredible validation. You know, by rallying citizens together, we helped persuade our government to do the unthinkable and act to fix a problem miles outside of our borders. But here's the thing, it didn't last. See, there was a change in government, and 6 years later, all that new money disappeared. What did we learn? We learned that one-off spikes are not enough. We needed a sustainable movement, not one that is susceptible to the fluctuating moods of a politician or the hint of an economic downturn, and it needed to happen everywhere. Otherwise, every individual government would have this built-in excuse mechanism that they couldn't possibly carry the burden of global action alone. And so this is what we embarked upon. And as we embarked upon this challenge, we asked ourselves, how do we gain enough pressure and build a broad enough army to win these fights for the long term? We could only think of one way. We need to somehow turn that short-term excitement of people involved with the Make Poverty History campaign into long-term passion. It had to be part of their identity. So in 2012, we co-founded an organization that had exactly that as its goal. And there was only one name for it: Global Citizen. But this is not about any one organization. This is about citizens taking action. And research data tells us that of the total population who even care about global issues, only 18% have done anything about it. It's not that people don't want to act, It's often that they don't know how to take action, or that they believe that their actions will have no effect. So we had to somehow recruit and activate millions of citizens in dozens of countries to put pressure on their leaders to behave altruistically. And as we did so, we discovered something really thrilling. That when you make global citizenship your mission, you suddenly find yourself with some extraordinary allies. See, extreme poverty isn't the only issue that's fundamentally global. So too is climate change, human rights, gender equality, even conflict. We found ourselves shoulder to shoulder with people who are passionate about targeting all these interrelated issues. But how did we actually go about recruiting and engaging those global citizens? Well, we used the universal language, music. We launched the Global Citizen Festival in the heart of New York City in Central Park, and we persuaded some of the world's biggest artists to participate. We made sure that these festivals coincided with the UN General Assembly meeting so that leaders who need to hear our voices couldn't possibly ignore them. But there was a twist. You couldn't buy a ticket, you had to earn it. You had to take action on behalf of a global cause, and only once you'd done that could you earn enough points to qualify. Activism is the currency. I had no interest in citizenship purely as some sort of feel-good thing. For me, citizenship means you have to act, and that's what we required. And amazingly, it worked. Last year, more than 155,000 citizens in the New York area alone earned enough points to qualify. Globally, we've now signed up citizens in over 150 countries around the world, and last year we signed up more than 100,000 new members each and every week of the whole year. See, we don't need to create global citizens from nothing. We're already everywhere. We just need to be organized and motivated to start acting. And this is where I believe we can learn a lot from Davinia, who started taking action as a global citizen back in 2012. Here's what she did. It wasn't rocket science. She started writing letters, emailing politicians' offices. She volunteered her time in her local community. That's when she got active on social media and started to collect pennies, a lot of pennies. Now, maybe that doesn't sound like a lot to you. How will that achieve anything? Well, it achieved a lot because she wasn't alone. Her actions, alongside 142,000 other global citizens, led the US government to double their investment into Global Partnership for Education. And here's Dr. Raj Shah, the head of USAID, making that announcement. See, when thousands of global citizens find inspiration from each other, it's amazing to see their collective power. Global citizens like Davinia helped persuade the World Bank to boost their investment into water and sanitation. Here's the bank's president, Jim Kim, announcing $15 billion on stage at Global Citizen. And Prime Minister Modi of India affirmed his commitment to put a toilet in every household and school across India by 2019. Global citizens, encouraged by the late-night host Stephen Colbert, launched a Twitter invasion on Norway. Ernest Solberg, the country's prime minister, got the message, committing to double investment into girls' education. Global citizens, together with Rotarians, called on the Canadian, UK and Australian governments to boost their investment into polio eradication. They got together and committed $665 million. But despite all of this momentum, we face some huge challenges. So you might be thinking to yourself, how can we possibly persuade world leaders to sustain a focus on global issues? Indeed, the powerful American politician Tip O'Neill once said, all politics is local. That's what always got politicians elected, to seek, gain, and hold on to power through the pursuit of local or at very best national interests. I experienced this for the first time when I was 21 years old. I took a meeting with a then Australian Foreign Minister, who shall remain nameless, and behind closed doors, I shared with him my passion to end extreme poverty. I said, Minister, Australia has this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help achieve the Millennium Development Goals. We can do this. And he paused, looked down on me with cold, dismissive eyes, and he said, Hugh, no one gives a funk about foreign aid, except he didn't use the word funk. He went on, he said, we need to look after our own backyard first. This is, I believe, outdated, even dangerous thinking, or as my late grandfather would say, complete BS. Parochialism offers this false dichotomy because it pits the poor in one country against the poor in another. It pretends we can isolate ourselves and our nations from one another. The whole world is our backyard, and we ignore it at our peril. See, look what happened when we ignored Rwanda, when we ignore Syria, when we ignore climate change. Political leaders ought to give a funk because the impact of climate change and extreme poverty comes right to our shore. Now, global citizens, they understand this. We live in a time that favors the global citizen, in an age where every single voice can be heard. See, do you remember when the Millennium Development Goals were signed back in the year 2000, the most we could do in those days was fire off a letter and wait for the next election. There was no social media. Today, billions of citizens have more tools, more access to information, more capacity to influence than ever before. Both the problems and the tools to solve them are right before us. The world has changed, and those of us who look beyond our borders are on the right side of history. So where are we? So we run this amazing festival, we've scored some big policy wins, and citizens are signing up all over the world. But have we achieved our mission? No. We have such a long way to go. But this is the opportunity that I see. The concept of global citizenship, self-evident in its logic, but until now impractical in many ways, has coincided with this particular moment in which we are privileged to live. We as global citizens now have a unique opportunity to accelerate large-scale positive change around the world. So in the months and years ahead, global citizens will hold world leaders accountable to ensure that the new global goals for sustainable development are tracked and implemented. Global citizens will partner with the world's leading NGOs to end diseases like polio and malaria. Global citizens will sign up in every corner of this globe, increasing the frequency, quality, and impact of their actions. These dreams are within reach. Imagine an army of millions grown into tens of millions, connected, informed, engaged, and unwilling to take no for an answer. Over all these years, I've tried to reconnect with Sonny Boy. Sadly, I've been unable to. We met long before social media, and his address has now been relocated by the authorities, as often happens with slums. I'd love to sit down with him wherever he is and share with him how much the time I spent on Smoky Mountain inspired me. Thanks to him and so many others, I came to understand the importance of being part of a movement of people. The kids willing to look up from their screens and out to the world, the global citizens. Global citizens who stand together, who ask the question why, who reject the naysayers, and embrace the amazing possibilities of the world we share. I'm a global citizen. Are you? Thank you.
All right, Mr. Katya, are you here, Katya?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure to see you here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you? Do you have a camera? Can we see you?
Yes.
All right. So
Let me set the. Let me.
all right. Very good. Very good. I'm glad there's an extra
The-
student here, so we can debate. Did you watch? How long of the video have you watched?
A part of the video,
A
the
part-
half,
half
the
of
the
it?
part of the end.
Okay, the part towards the end. Okay. right,
The
nice.
half, the half to the end, the half to the end.
Okay, cool. And what have you understood from the video?
Collectivity, global citizens.
Okay, and what is
That-
a global citizen? What is a global citizen?
Is a kind of person that collaborate with to solve different problems in the world, problems that affects everybody.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, very nice. And how about you, Plinio? What did you understand from the video?
That's a little utopian, I could say.
Utopian, you think is
Yes.
utopian? Okay, what he wants to achieve, right? He
Yes.
wants to solve global problems. He wants to tackle global problems, right?
Yeah.
But how about, I don't know if Katya saw that part, I don't think so, but what's his plan? Like, what is his plan to do that? Can you explain it to me? He says something at least interesting. Like his idea is at least interesting, you know? It may be utopian, it may be, maybe he will never be able to achieve the goals, but do you remember what is this organization, the Global Citizen Organization, what is it exactly?
What is it?
Yes.
What?
What?
I think what? No, I don't remember.
What's their goal? Like what's their mission, you know? Do you remember at all?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
He starts telling the story of Lavinia. Remember Lavinia?
Yes.
The penny lady, right? And then she had this idea. She started collecting pennies. Do you know what pennies are, guys? You know what a penny is? How
No.
much? A penny is a coin. Is a coin that is
Okay.
worth 1 cent. You guys probably don't even remember that we had pennies here one day. Do you guys remember this? That
Yes,
one day
I
we had
remember.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had pennies, but
But
go ahead, Katya, go ahead.
no, just say something because I hear you talk about a coin. I remember Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin. You remember
Bit-
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's where the name comes from. Bit, because it's a bit, right? Because it's online money, and coin because it is money, it's currency, right? So
Right.
so a penny costs 1 cent. Here in Brazil we don't have pennies anymore, but in America, because the dollar is strong money, strong currency, people have pennies, but people save pennies, but they don't actually use it because only 1 cent. So Lavinia had this idea of asking people to donate their pennies, right? And it's working. She's helping educate 120 girls in Africa. She opened a school in Africa that educates 120 girls. That's 120 lives she's changing, and she's changing the lives of these families as well, because these girls, if they're educated, they're going to be able to get a better job, they're going to be able to help. Well, his idea of Global Citizen, I don't know if you remember him saying they were able to collect money from government, peoples were helping, but then the money dries out, right? And then the idea is like to help organize global citizens. What he says is this: he doesn't have to create global citizens. They're everywhere. People are helping, but only 18% of the people that want to help actually help. Only 18%. So his idea, his goal is to make sure that he create a situation where everybody is able to help. That's why I started asking you. I don't know what you do. What do you do for a living, Katya?
Living in like
Job. What's your job?
I'm journalist.
Oh, you're a journalist. Okay,
Yes.
nice. That's nice. Okay, it's because I was
I work
asking.
with press. with press.
Okay, you work.
Imprensa. Written press.
Okay, what newspapers? Is it
Uh,
Jornal do Comércio?
no, a management assessoria.
Oh, okay. So you don't work for a company. You're self-employed.
No, no, it's a political institution.
Oh, all right. Okay, and do you guys work with helping people with I like help in some way, or is just
Some years ago, I worked with
NGOs?
I forgot NGO. Yes, an NGO that help people in some issues
Okay.
like communication, education, and culture.
Interesting. Okay, see? So you helped people before. You have helped people before, right?
Make a kind of they used to do a kind of workshop to practice some abilities with young people, to share some abilities with young people.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, interesting. If you want, you can talk more about this if you want, because the idea here we're talking about this. And then I asked Plinio why he decided to become a lawyer. And he said first it was for the money, right, Plinio?
Yes.
But then he started liking it, he started helping people. And this is the idea of the Global Citizen Institution. It's to organize, it's to help people help people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, that's the main idea of this institution. So I don't know if you guys want.
Activism is a
What?
kind of is it a kind of activism, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Activism is like, but the idea, and then I don't know, I don't think you caught that part when they have a concert. They had this big concert, and then you couldn't buy the ticket. The only way to get in is that you had to help,
Okay.
had to help somehow,
Mhm.
something or someone, like in an organization or something. So you couldn't buy it. You had to earn it. There's a
Okay.
difference. You know what I'm saying? So they had to earn it. It was full of people. And then the government saw that and double it down the investments and everything else. Okay. So
Okay.
all right, so moving on with our class today. So you don't have the book, right, Katya?
No. Can you see me?
Are
I
you
can
asking?
put my camera.
No,
Oh.
not really.
No.
Oh, you're asking if we can see
Problems with the camera.
the camera. Okay,
The camera.
the camera. Okay. All right, but you can see us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's talk a little bit. I'm gonna leave this here for you, okay, Katya? And then we're
Okay.
gonna go to page 66. Let's go to page 66. And you can read these passages, okay? Those two passages. Plinio has his book. And if you can read, are you using your smartphone or your computer? Katya.
Please, could you repeat the question? I was looking at the screen to find the camera. I didn't listen.
Sure. Are you using your computer or your smartphone?
Computer.
Okay.
Computer.
Okay, got it. All right, you're trying to make the camera work?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I don't know if you know this, but when you go into Zoom, when you go into the
I have to invite you. Do I have to invite you to access
no,
my camera?
you have to allow you have to allow Zoom to use your camera and your microphone.
In the
So,
beginning, I didn't do this.
okay. Do
So
you
I
want
think I have to,
to get out and then come back?
yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
do this. And I'll and I'll, I'll go
You'll be
and I'll
here.
get back.
We're gonna be here.
I'll be back. I'll be back in minutes, some minutes.
Wow. Okay. I'll be back.
I'll
Like
be back.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the how do you call what's the name of the movie? Terminator.
Terminator.
Terminator. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be
Hasta la
back in
vista,
minutes.
baby.
I'll be back. I remember.
All right. All right. So, Plinio, have you read the passage?
No.
No? Why don't you go ahead and read the passage? Those two
Okay.
passages right there. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista.
Oh, you're still there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm trying to get out, but I'm not finding.
there's a button that says end. If you click there, and more. I think there's three dots. And then if you put the arrow in the three dots, and then it opens a lot of options. And then one of the
So-
options says end. And then
And-
you end.
Invite, desative meu som, levanta a mão. Only three options.
The three dots.
Let me see. Mover, paradelo. I'm gonna try yet.
Okay. All right.
Some technical problems.
That's okay. No problem. Look, in the beginning, trust me, in the beginning, I was like, I was going crazy. You know? So, but don't worry about it. Let's discuss a little bit
I
about.
found it.
You found it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sair da reunião.
Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Oh, it's in Portuguese.
I'm gonna try it to do this right now.
Okay. All right. Plinio, do you know these songs? Do you know the songs?
No.
These are songs. You
I
don't?
didn't.
No,
I
you
didn't.
don't. No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. These are songs. You don't know any of these songs? None? None? Zero?
0.
Do you know at least one? No?
No.
Okay. Well, I know that one is Imagine. Imagine from John Lennon.
Oh, yes.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. The other one, I actually don't know. The other one, I don't know. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I actually don't know the other one, but we could research later. What do they have in common? What do you think these lyrics they have in common?
They both are talk about help people and be more, how can I say, how can I say, I don't know. I forgot. I forgot Portuguese.
Forgot in Portuguese?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. What do they make you think about when you read these lyrics? What do you think about when you read those lyrics?
How can I say solidarity in English?
Solidarity to be solidarity is the noun. The adjective Let me think. When you help people, I can't think of a word right now to be a substitute for solidário, but you know, to be helpful, to help people.
Yes, yes,
Okay. All right. Do you think, for example, I don't know if you remember the lyrics of Imagine, but do you think he's a little utopic, John Lennon? He's a little utopic to think
yes,
that there will be a world in no possessions, no greed, no hunger, a brotherhood of men just helping each other. Do you think he's utopic? He's a dreamer? Do you think?
yes, because the the man is naturally bad, you know.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
greedy. Man want more, always want more and more and more and more. Is that it?
yes.
All right, man. Shame. It's a shame. All right. Okay, moving on to activity 17. I think is activity 17, right? On page 67.
Yes.
So this is a vocabulary activity, right? There's a list of places. There's a list of places that, oh my gosh. The image is terrible. Read the list of places, the topics, read the list and place the topics in the chart. Then talk to a classmate and check your answers. So don't look at my answers, okay? Don't look it. But
Okay.
that are, you have a list of words in the box, and then you have one column with problems, world issues, and another column for solutions or ways to help, okay? So we need to put each one in each column, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead. Hopefully Katya will be back. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Okay, here is she. All right. Now now we can see you. Can you hear us, Katya? Can you hear us? We're not hearing, we're not listening. Oh, it's still connecting. It's still connecting. It's connecting. So now it should be. Now it should be able to speak. Katya, can you speak?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
The camera works. Camera okay. Audio okay.
Okay, everything okay.
Everything okay.
English class okay. The
Okay.
teacher is okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, like I said, you don't have your book with you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
really.
So, and like I told you, the answers are right here because I only have the teacher's book. All right. But the idea is for you to look at this vocabulary. We have a box with words related to global citizen situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have words that are problems, world issue problems. and we have words that are related to solutions or ways to help. Okay? And
Okay.
then we're gonna wait for you to finish, but you could look at it, you could give a good look. Can you see it? Can you see it well?
Yeah, yeah.
You can? Okay, you can give a good look and you can ask questions, okay? If you don't know those words, you could ask, okay? And then let's debate. Let's debate a little bit about those words, what you guys think. If you think those are real problems or they're not, they're like, oh, that's nothing. That's no big deal. All right? And let
All
me know,
right.
okay? Let me know when
Okay.
you're done, okay, Plinio?
Okay.
Okay? And we can debate if you want to look at some words, Katya, and then you tell me if there's something you want to ask.
One table is issue, problems, and solution, and we have to combine for each problem. We have to present a solution.
No, not necessarily. There's a box. You see the box on the left? There's a box with all the words. Then you have to separate. For example, poverty. Is poverty,
Okay, I got it.
got it? A
Got it.
problem or a solution?
Okay, got it.
Okay?
Poverty is a problem, issue is a problem.
Exactly.
Poverty, carbon credits.
Carbon credits, it's a solution.
It's a carbon, what is carbon credits? I think it was another thing.
Okay, we'll talk about, we'll discuss about it. Carbon credits, someone came up with that idea. I don't know who was that came up with this idea that countries, they can't pollute more than a certain threshold. Okay? So, for example, Brazil, Germany buys carbon credits from Brazil because Germany pollutes a lot for its size, and it's a very industrial country. And Brazil has Amazon. You get it?
Like United States, like
Okay,
I said, is in the top. Is in the top of pollution. And the less pollution has a credit.
Exactly. You have a threshold depending of the size of the country and depending on the population. You have a certain amount that you can pollute. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
But they calculate, for example, Brazil, since Brazil has the Amazon, Brazil pollutes, but Brazil also takes a lot of emissions out of the environment, out of the ozone, you know, and then Brazil pollutes less than other countries. So other countries, they have to pay Brazil so they can pollute more. So this way you create an incentive for countries not to pollute, to reduce their pollution.
Very intelligent.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the way it is. Let's go ahead and check. Plinio, what are problems or world issues that you found?
The problems, poverty, environmental issues.
Environmental issues.
War.
Okay.
Racism. Acculturation. I don't know. Acculturation. Terrorism. Financial crisis.
A financial crisis.
Social injustice.
Okay.
Climate change. And logging.
So Do you guys have any questions about these problems? Do you know what these problems are? Do you know why they're considered problems?
I don't know what is acculturation.
Acculturation, okay, I'll explain. Do you know, Katya, what acculturation is?
I don't know if it's exactly the term. I think acculturation is when you have to adapt. You have to adapt to a different culture from your culture. I don't know if it's
No.
correct. No.
No. It's not it. It's acculturation is, for example, now a lot of acculturation happens. Why? Because we live in the era of fake news, right? So a lot of people, actually, no, I'm sorry. That's not acculturation is, I'm sorry. That's a misinformation. That's misinformation. Acculturation is when you force your culture into another culture.
Oh.
Okay, that's what acculturation is.
Imperialism.
Imperialism causes this, right?
Causes this, yeah.
So when a country imposes into another country, or even in its region, okay, this happens a lot. A country, they dominate, the government dominates an area and says, from now on, we're gonna do this way, all right? For example, China had over 2,000 languages in the 50s. And then the government imposed Mandarin, imposed everyone to learn Mandarin. So nowadays, a lot of people, most people speak Mandarin, and some people still speak Cantonese, but the government forces people to speak Mandarin. So the other thousands of languages are all dying, okay? Same thing happened to India when it was colonized by England, right? So it goes on and on. Brazil here, when we killed Tupi-Guarani during imperialism, colonization time. All right. What else? Any other questions?
Nope.
Do you guys
logging?
Know?
I have a doubt. Logging.
Logging. Okay, log is the how do you call it?
Wood.
Yeah, exactly. Is the tronco, right? I don't know how to
log is the log of the tree.
The log, that's called log. So logging is the act of cutting big trees to use the log to construction, to build other things.
The log's the wood?
Yes.
Yes.
The wood part of the tree is called a log. Tronco. And then logging is the action of cutting. This action of cutting is called logging.
Okay.
A person that logs is a logger. Okay, a logger. Okay. All right. What else? How about solutions and ways to help? Plinio, what were the solutions and ways to help?
Volunteer work. Carbon credits.
Okay.
Enable source. Right?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Enable sources.
Oh, renewable sources.
Renewable source. Conservation.
Okay.
Social responsibility.
Okay.
Reforestation.
Okay.
Human rights.
Okay.
Foreign aid. I don't know.
Foreign aid. Foreign aid. That's right. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. Sustainability.
Okay. All right. Do you know foreign aid is, Katya?
some country, some nation that helps economically another nation.
Exactly.
Foreign aid.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
like Germany helps Amazon with
Right.
a kind of fund to conserve the environment.
Exactly. They send money to help conservation, and then this is a foreign aid because it comes from a foreigner, from a foreign country. Okay,
Yeah.
Clem?
Oh,
Got it?
okay. Yes, I got it.
Cool. So I still got this activity right here. All right, so let's do activity B now. Unfortunately, the answers are right here.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
What is renewable sources?
Renewable sources.
Renewable source.
It's when you use sources, they are renewable. Okay, for
What
example.
sources?
Okay, I'm
Water.
water
Oh,
is a source.
yes.
Energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you put like one of those solar panels in your house, right? And then to transform to make power to your house, you're using a renewable source because the sun is always there.
Yes, okay.
Got it? So let's do 1 to 5 quickly. 5 minutes, do 1 to 5. Unfortunately, the answer is already there. So, Katia can only check, right, Katia?
Yeah.
Are you still working, Katia? Are you working from home? Are you home officing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the solution. It was the solution.
It was the only solution.
The only solution. You want the only solution.
Yeah, we have nothing else to do. Even teachers are home office, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Do you work, where do you work, in Recife?
Yeah. With assessoria de imprensa.
Okay, in a company.
In a company. Partido político, Partido dos Trabalhadores.
Oh, okay. You work for PT. You work in
Yes.
okay. How do you call assessoria in English? I forgot.
Press something.
Advisor.
Ah.
You were communication advisor.
Yeah, communication advisor.
Got it.
Taking notes.
You write it down for the PT. Okay, got it. Okay, that's nice.
Advisor. Communication advisor. Thank you, teacher. Thank you.
You can use that now. You can put that in your card, in your personal card.
Yeah.
You know, communicate.
Yeah,
what do you do? I'm a communication advisor. Sounds more fancy,
I'm
right?
I'm gonna say that to everybody. From now on. From now on.
I'm glad I could help. I'm glad.
Thank you.
Cool. For me, it's really hard to see. I don't know for you, but
I can't see this.
You can't?
I can't see. Yes.
Okay. I need to use glasses, and it's right here in front of me. That's how bad it is. All right. Are you? Oh, you're not done yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Just one more.
One more. Okay. So those are really good vocabulary for you to debate with your coworkers, Katia, and at work. You know, that's a very nice vocabulary.
To debate, isn't it? To debate. I'm
saying that's a good vocabulary if you have someone at work that likes to speak English, likes to practice, then this class specifically has very good vocabulary. Because
Really.
it talks a lot about political issues, right? About a lot of things that politicians, they should be worried. I don't know if they are worried, but they should be worried, right?
Yeah.
Things like poverty, racism,
Human rights.
human rights, foreign aid,
Right.
conservation.
Yeah.
They're all important topics in the political spectrum.
Okay.
Yes.
Done, Plinio?
Yes, I done.
Okay, can you read the first sentence for us, Katya?
Nearly the half of the world's population, more than 3 billion people live on less $2.50 a day. More than 1 billion live in extreme poverty. That's less than $1.25 a day.
Yep. Okay. So that's amazing, right? You have 1.3 billion people living with less than 1.25, $1.25 a day. That's
in a miserable situation, almost a miserable situation.
They're in extreme. It's called extreme poverty.
Extreme poverty. Yeah.
They are below poverty line. There's a poverty line. They are below this line. It's sad. Number 2, Plinio, for us, can you read number 2?
Yes. Racism and discrimination have been used as a powerful weapons encouraging fear or hatred of others in times of conflicts and war, and even during economic downturns.
Okay, cool. Any questions about that?
No.
No? Okay, nice. Number 3, Katya, can you read number 3?
Yeah. Human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination.
Okay, very good, very nice. Number 4, Plinio, can you read number 4?
A tragedy of the world's poor has been that the West spent $2.3 trillion on foreign aid, right? Foreign aid over the last 5 decades, and still has not managed to get 12-cent medicines to children to prevent half of all malaria deaths.
Okay. All right, cool. Foreign aid. Number 5, Katya.
Unfortunately, despite the effort put into conservation by organizations and activists, their work can easily be undetermined by those who have other interests.
Very good, very nice. Do you guys have any questions about this? Anything you guys want to know?
No.
No? Okay, let's go to, let's see, we still can do one more. Okay, let's go ahead and do this activity. Just a conversation to end our class. So, which of those issues, Katya, which of those issues in the activity before are the worst ones in your opinion? Which ones need to be tackled immediately first?
The poverty.
Poverty, why?
Because involves a huge number, a large number of people in the earth, affects a lot of people in the earth.
Okay. All right. Very good. Nice. Plinio, which causes do you fight for? Or if you don't, which one, if you had the opportunity, you would fight for?
Could you repeat, teacher, please?
Sure. The bullet point, the second bullet point in activity C.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Which
What-
cause do you fight for?
And if you don't, like, do you want to fight for a cause? Is there anything you want to fight for?
I would like to fight, but I don't.
If you had the opportunity, which one would you choose? What cause would you choose?
Meds, how can I say? Health,
Without Frontiers?
no, health law. Do you know?
Oh, okay.
No, health rights.
Health rights. Okay.
Health
I
rights.
didn't know about this field. I didn't know this field.
For example, I'm very poor, and I can't buy a medicine, so I need to go to the justice, and you know.
Mhm. Okay, get it. Okay, I understand. Cool, nice. All right, Katya, what do you do to fight social injustice?
Let me think. Try to explain, try to, it's a difficult question, but
Oh, sure,
something,
it is.
try to explain people that to stimulate people
Mhm.
to achieve their rights, to look for a lawyer, look for the government through
NGOs.
NGOs.
Okay.
NGOs.
All right, that's something very valuable. That's a very valuable fight you do for social injustice. Okay, I'm sure you help a lot of people with that. All right. Okay.
Only some people, not a lot of, or some.
I'm sure you have helped a lot of people throughout your journey. You know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I know you always think, oh, I could do more, but I mean, come on, we're human beings, right? At the end of the day, we're human beings.
Yes.
To wrap it up, Plinio, what are the main problems in your city or neighborhood?
I think it's poverty.
Poverty in Paulista, you think it's poverty?
In Abreu Lima.
Oh, you live in Abreu Lima. Okay.
Yes.
How about you, Katya? Where do you live, Katya? Do you live in Paulista?
Here I'm living in Paulista.
Okay. What are
Transportation.
Transportation?
The mobility.
Oh.
The mobility problems.
Oh, okay. The commute for you must be hard, right? Going to Recife every day and then coming back.
Is a in Paulista a historical problem, because Paulista there was not a lot of buses to
Public
public transportation. Yes,
Got it.
and is a lot of problems with the public transportations. A lot of people in one and only one bus.
Okay.
Very crowded. Bus is very crowded, and we have to wait too long for a bus. Many time.
Right.
Long time.
For a bus. Okay.
For a bus.
It must be hard. It's probably hard. I live in Olinda, and to get to Recife is already a big commute to go to Recife. Imagine if you're in Paulista, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have car, but when I have to use the public transportation,
Mhm.
I saw these whole problems.
Right. It sucks. It sucks. Big time. And for you, Plinio is poverty in Abreu Lima, right?
Actually, is violence.
Violence. Well, one thing, if you think about it, one thing is related to another, right? And
Yes,
because
could be, could be.
people are poor. I know that there's some places in Abreu Lima that they have a drug problem as well, right? A lot of
Yes,
people doing drugs. So one thing leads to another. Poverty, uh, lack of education leads to poverty, that leads to use of drugs, that leads to violence, right?
yes.
All right, guys. All right, okay. With that, we end unit 5. All right, so yeah, next class, we're going to start unit 6. It's all in the media, and Katya is gonna love it. And Katya is in the communication business. Okay, we're gonna talk about
Media.
vocabulary related to media. All right, so pace yourself.
I'm gonna like a lot.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna like a lot. I'm gonna like a lot.
don't miss
Teacher,
it.
I have a question.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
gonna miss.
Go ahead, please.
How will you check the activities book?
Okay, all right. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do the activities. You're going to download an app in your smartphone called Camcorder. Camcorder, yeah, I think it's Camcorder. It's called Camcorder. I think it's like this. Camcorder. No, it's not Camcorder. No, I'm sorry. Okay, it's a scanner. Download any scanner app in your smartphone, okay? Because when you take a picture, then you do
Yes,
the
yes.
activity. You take a
And
picture.
put in PDF, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you send it to me, okay? Then
And how about the test?
well, the test, we only gonna take the test when we come back, okay? So probably we're gonna take both tests. We're gonna take midterm and final test almost like together, like one day the midterm, the next day the final test, probably
Okay.
because by the time people are saying that we're going to come back in July, by the time we come back in July, you're going to be close to finish the book. So probably going to come back for speaking activities, going to do more speaking, more activities related to communication to improve our speaking and listening skills, and then we're gonna study for a test. Okay.
All right.
And then you do the activity, you send it to me, I'll check, I'll correct, I'll tell you what is right and what is wrong, and then you go in your book and then you check in your book what is right and what
I will send you this weekend.
Okay, cool. No problem. No rush.
Do
Okay.
you have to
Okay.
answer? Do you have to? I have some doubts. Do we have to answer? And the activity 6. And no, the activity 5. You have to fulfill, to complete the activity 5, and bring to you next class.
No, not bring it to me. You do activity 5, then you take a picture with your smartphone, and then there's a app that transforms the picture into PDF.
Okay.
And then you send it to me. It's called a Scanner Cam. There are a bunch of apps that you transform pictures, images into PDF. And then you send it to me so I can see better. I'll check, I'll tell you what's right, what is wrong. Oh, you did this right, you did this wrong. And then you go in your book and then you correct what is right and what is wrong. Okay?
Okay,
But you're
understood
coming
now.
Okay, you're coming back now, Katya. If you could, maybe do some coaching classes before you do this activity. Try to schedule. You know, do you have the CNA WhatsApp? Do you have CNA's WhatsApp? You do, right?
Yes, 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 I do. Yes.
So talk to Ismaela. Ismaela is the person that takes care of this. It tells Ismaela, I need coaching classes for Unit 5, okay?
Coach class.
Yeah, coaching classes. We call it coaching classes. Okay?
Coaching classes for Unit 5.
Yes, coaching classes. I put it there in the chat. I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna call to Ismaela and ask her for coaching classes.
Okay, yes. And also in the chat, Katya, since you're here, if you're at home, you're feeling bored and you wanna practice, you wanna read something in English, I put a link with a website with lots and lots of books in English, all for free. You can download, you can read online. It's in the chat, okay? It's in the chat. It's this one. inglesnapontadalingua.com.br, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Let me open for you. Okay, so there's lots and lots of options for you. So if you're feeling bored at home,
Wonderful.
you see this? You see this board.com. There's these are all websites full of books for you to read, okay? If you like literature, if you like fiction, if you like nonfiction.
All for free, all free, all for free.
All free. This one, the online book page. Let me open this one. You put the author here. You put the name of an author or the name of a title, and then the book will pop up for you. Okay? All right, so you have a lot of options there. Okay, this book stacks. Let me open here, stacks. So you have books about Aristotle. By the way, I'm going to
Jane Austen.
By the way, Plinio, I'm going to read this book. I didn't know about this, but Socrates, you know who Socrates is, the philosopher?
Of course, man.
He went on a trial. Do you know that he went on a trial and the penalty for him was to commit suicide? He had to commit suicide. Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know the story?
Yes.
I know there's a book about that. Oh, I'm going to read that book. I'm going to read this book.
I had this book.
You have the book?
Yes.
Oh,
I had Aristotle too. I had everything.
Is it in English? Is it in English?
No, not in English.
It's in Portuguese.
It was combined.
Oh my God. I want to read this book.
In
You got a
Portuguese,
book.
O Banquete.
Yeah.
That's the name of the book, O Banquete,
Yes.
in Portuguese.
Yes.
Do you know in English the name of the book?
I have no idea, man.
You don't? Okay. Plato was his protege, right? Plato was his student, right? Plato.
Yes.
Okay. So if you find the name in English,
That
please.
book.
Oh, okay. What's the name of the book again? What's the name of the book?
Apologia de Sócrates, O Banquete. Banquete.
Oh. All right. I'm going to start reading. I downloaded The Prince from Machiavelli. Okay. I never read. I know I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of that. I know it's a classic. Everyone should read. So I'm going to start reading now. Okay.
That's boring, man, but
You think
it's a good book.
It's not boring, it's very moving.
Okay.
Emotion, a lot of emotion, moving.
It is. Okay. If you guys want to read about American literature, I love this author here, Mark Twain. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. It's a classic. It's a classic of American literature. Okay. Mark Twain. Walt Whitman is also Oscar Wilde. So you guys see, these are all classics from American literature. So if you're bored at home, don't be bored. Keep yourselves busy. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So I guess I see you guys next time. See you Wednesday. Okay, Katya.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
See you both. See you, teacher.
See you
Okay.
guys later. Take
Yeah.
care, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good
Goodbye.
weekend,
Bye.
guys.
Good. You too.
Bye.
See you guys in 2 days. Bye.